Joined today by now an author. He's an all-around great guy, so now he writes books too. Eric Nehm. It is 100 Things That Bucs Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. I think I got the title right.
That's correct.
And Eric, what is it like writing a book and putting together all this information?
Total insanity. Absolute insanity, especially when you're doing it during an NBA season. I wrote it during last year's season, so it was just kind of crazy that, you know, every day you're trying to figure out, okay, did I have enough from 1977? What about 87? What about this? What about that? And you're just kind of going through all 50 years and trying to figure out, okay, do I have enough of that? And then you're going outside the 50 years, like when they were trying to get a team and trying to do all that. So it was a really interesting process and one that I found impossible by the end.
This guy almost went all the way back to the Milwaukee Hawks, but we'll get into that later. Eric, the other thing is this team has had an up and down nature. They had some great years under Nelly. They won a championship, obviously, in 71, competed for a championship in 74. 2001 Eastern Conference Finals, but they had some pretty low points too. Is it kind of that roller coaster nature when you're putting together a book?
Yeah, you know, you try to hit on everything. So every coach, every GM is mentioned in the book, but also during those years, maybe there's not a lot of great material. So you go to those heavier, strong years. So there's a lot from the 80s and there's a lot from the 2000 team. And so you do try to figure those things out. But I can assure everyone, every single year is covered. So if you have a favorite year where the Bucs weren't that good, it got some time. I'll say that.
What was one thing that really blew your mind that you had no clue on what it was?
To me, it's Nelly. Like, just the fact that he was so great as a coach and all the things that I currently love about basketball, all the nerdy stuff, as you know. I'm very into that. So small ball, shooting a lot of threes, like trying to do all of these innovative things. Nelly was doing that in the 80s, and like people don't really realize just how innovative he was, just how great of a coach he was, because, you know, he didn't get a championship. So people don't think of him as this great coach, and he was just fantastic. So digging into all of that, reading through all of his old quotes, that was awesome to me.
He had point forward in Paul Pressey.
Yes,
he had three-point shooters or six men in Dale Ellis and Ricky Pierce, Craig Hodges, stuff like that. It was pretty interesting.
No, he was really doing some like stuff that I think, oh, that's a great coach. And in the current NBA, if you do those things, I'm like, you're a smart guy. But back then, that's not something people did. But he was doing all of that stuff.
Final thing is, it's got to be pretty cool to have this book come out when the Bucs are hot and when excitement seems to be at one of the peaks in the whole history of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the Bucs for being good. I really appreciate it right now. But yeah, it's been kind of cool that now I'm starting to think the next time I have to write this, it's like, okay, well, the 2018 season, I'm going to have to do a lot on that. Maybe I have to do something on Giannis's next All-Star appearance. Like, already in my head, I'm thinking through all of the good things that could happen with this team, and it can only happen if they're actually good.
More chapters to come. Eric, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, he will add on to the book later. Eric Nehm, right here at the Bucs Training Center.